Experts say that 60 to 70% of all processed foods on U.S. grocery shelves contain genetically modified ingredients. The most common genetically modified foods are soybeans, corn, cotton, and canola.
GMOs are a way to develop plants that are resistant to certain weeds so that they can use certain chemicals. So it's a very few amount of genes that they're really dealing with. And today, the weeds are resistant to the GMO chemicals. So now they're going back to the natural chemicals. And so the reality is that what they were originally intended for no longer work.
So when you start to think about how food is produced or other things that are important, when we think about our health, we think about food as well as medicine and pharmaceuticals, the things that touch our body or go into our body becomes very important to us as consumers. So when you start to think about the integrity of how things are produced, as a consumer, you're worried about your safety. And so you want to understand the integrity and the efficacy of that product from its source all the way to the point in time you consume it.
Organic and non-GMO food products are growing at exceptional rates where consumers are searching for better, nutritionally dense products that clearly identify the absence of GMOs, as they are uncertain of potential health risks associated with consuming them.
We used to collect information on paper, how this was produced, where it's produced, file the piece of paper, but we could never share that information in a means of being transparent to the consumer of how we do stuff. Today, using different technology platforms such as mobile technologies or satellite information we gather from outer space of where things are moving around our globe, in real time we can now provide that data delivered to a mobile device all the way to the consumer so that they have total transparency of how their product's produced, where it came from, the efficacy of the product, and the integrity of the product.
Non-GMO and organic plant-based foods are not only safe and available, but are great tasting, affordable, environmentally friendly, and sustainable.
We think about the future and the rising population. Plant-based proteins are going to play an increasing role in that. To be able to provide animal proteins takes an enormous amount of water, and it's at a much higher price point for consumers. Plant-based proteins can provide an alternative use of proteins for people to gain their daily intake of proteins that they need. A company like World Food Processing is set up well to provide these organic pea proteins and these non-GMO soy proteins to help feed the world.
World Food Processing is a domestic developer of non-GMO and organic seeds, grains, and plant-based protein ingredients.
World Food Processing is a non-GMO and organic plant-based protein company. We start with seed and go all the way to finished food development in non-GMO and organic facilities, all located in the United States.
Our genetics are very unique in that we have specific characteristics that work specifically on certain soils around the world. And we do independent research to bring the best varieties to the customer and also to the producer.
The reason we wanted to start a plant breeding company is not only do we want to provide plant-based proteins, but we want to be able to enhance the protein, enhance the flavor, enhance the nutritional qualities of the grains that we're ultimately going to make into the new foods to feed the world. Nutritional density and food characteristics are important for world food because ultimately we're not breeding the grains strictly for growing or feeding to animals. We're developing them to develop new food products.
Their extensive plant genetics and advanced technologies provide a closed-loop, vertically integrated system of services that includes genetics, procurement, conditioning, ingredient processing, and finished food development.
Nature sets so that certain breeds can naturally cross. And so the natural breeding is we take a characteristic from one soybean variety and we cross it on to another soybean variety so that you get the natural crossing, the natural flavors, the proteins, and different characteristics. We decided that the natural way of breeding, of the way nature designed it, would be a great choice for families, and that being able to develop products that had high yield characteristics for the farmers, but also great flavor, and was naturally produced would be a great choice.
World Foods plant protein facilities are all certified organic and produce purest pea proteins, purest non-GMO soybeans, purest soy proteins, purest whole soy powders, and other soy and pulse ingredients.
Utilizing localized genetic research, we develop seeds in our specific farmer's location. So we're developing varieties right in their backyard, in their farm. And so it's optimizing their ability to achieve yield, disease resistance, and giving our customers food security. So they want their product, they want it on time, they want it in a big way. What we're able to do is grow crops right here in the US in a sustainable supply chain through all non-GMO and organic facilities and deliver that to our customers.
In addition, they provide identity-preserved ingredients to global markets and world-leading food companies through their Purist system.
One of the products that we manufacture at World Food is pea protein. We call it Purist Pea. And Purist Pea is great because it's an 80% protein content and it comes from plants. It's a plant-based protein that's naturally non-GMO. It's also offered in organic. It's solvent-free, and the great thing, it's allergen-friendly. Purist Pea can work in all sorts of different applications, from dry beverage blends, so like protein shakes or meat analogs and all sorts of different things. So we like to think that Purist Pea works for everyone, and the most important thing is Purist Pea tastes great.
From genetics to procurement, conditioning and ingredient processing to food development, World Food Processing ensures supply of protein today while developing the sustainable, non-GMO and organic products needed to feed the world tomorrow.
For us, non-GMO is not just a trend. Organic's not just a trend. We're focused on seed development because it takes a systematic approach to make it sustainable for big food companies. A lot of folks and consumers are demanding non-GMO and organic foods, and it starts with the seed. It starts with the farmer. By giving them the right technology, the farmer can be successful at having optimal yield and having the best crop then that we can take through the value chain and make great foods.
For more information, visit www.worldfoodprocessing.com.